All right, we are live on YouTube. I'm just waiting on the video to connect on my other monitor over here so I can grab that link and put it in our free business mastermind group so that our members can join us easily and conveniently here on the YouTube live. Okay, we got the link coming up here, so let me grab that. All right, let me put that in the group. Okay, while that's cycling and posting, let me make sure that I can see the actual live chat over here on the YouTube side. And I can, so we can officially get started. Welcome to the Her First Six Figure Morning Show that is an interactive coaching and training experience as part of a free business mastermind group that positions Black and Brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/backend. That's shaycannon.com/backend, because what we have been talking about all week and what we are closing out today, our last broadcast day of the week, is why no back end means no backbone for your business. Okay, so we've been on a business management tip this week, because what I need you to know is all of your forward facing things that you're doing in business to service clients and to market, that's not enough. We need to have our back end together. Okay, we're talking true operations, and operations usually has to do with resources. Okay, so I have created this thing that I call the 4 M's of operations, and that is that you need to manifest resources, you need to manage resources, monitor resources, and finally, maximize your resources. So, going back to manifesting resources, we talked about how do you make sure that you get all the resources that you need to run your business smoothly, forward facing and back facing, but we focused on back facing. And I even gave you 10 strategies on how to make sure you got the resources that you need. So go back to Monday's replay to catch the manifesting resources. Okay. After that, now that you have the resources, you need to manage your resources or use your resources. So we talked about how you should be using these resources, and I gave you 10 strategies on how to make sure that you're using and managing them to the fullest. All right. So go back to Tuesday's replay. That was part 2. On Wednesday, which was yesterday, we did part 3, and that is monitoring resources. So I hope you're catching it. You get your resources, you use your resources. Now we need to monitor the resource to make sure that we're using it correctly, to make sure we're getting a return on investment for that resource. And so that's a step that a lot of people are skipping over. Y'all will go get resources. Some of y'all won't even use them, but let's just say most of y'all go and use the resources, but now you have to monitor them. How do you know that they're working? You've invested time, you've invested money, and you need to know, are you wasting that time and that money that you've invested? So that's monitoring the resources. And I gave you 10 strategies for monitoring your resources on the back end. Okay. So go to yesterday's replay for that. Today, we're going to round it out and end it with my 4th M, and that is maximizing resources. Okay. So let's go back through the 4 M's. We're going to get our resources by manifesting the resources. We're going to use our resources by managing them. Then we're going to double check that we're getting a return on investment with KPIs and things. And so what we're going to do is monitor those resources. As we're monitoring the resources, the last thing we need to do is maximize resources, okay? Because the monitoring should be giving us something to help us to know that this is working, it's not working, but if it is working, we need to maximize what is working, all right? Let's get into the blog. Maximizing resources means fully leveraging what you already have to get the most value, the most results, and the most efficiency possible, okay? Us that are solopreneurs and small business entrepreneurs, we definitely need to we need to just suck dry all of the value out of everything that we invest in. We cannot afford not to, okay? So it's about squeezing the juice out of every tool, every template, every person, team member, every outsourced task and process before running off and buying or building something new. All right. Do it like you do your kids. You know, when they want McDonald's, but you got McDonald's at home. Yeah. Think about your tools like that in your business. Stop going out and getting new stuff when you got something already in your toolbox that you could be using. You need to maximize it. So for online service-based entrepreneurs, the trap is always the next thing, the shiny object syndrome, right? So the next new software, the next new strategy, the next new hire, all of that. When often the real power lies in optimizing what you already have in place. Some of y'all don't know enough about the features of the tech you already have to know whether or not you need a new tech. Get to know what you got, okay? So let me give you another example. You've got a library of recorded trainings and blog posts or live sessions just sitting around untouched. You're not repackaging them. You're not repurposing them. Some of them will make good lead magnets. Some of them can be information you're putting into these nurture systems and sequences for these funnels. Some of them you've done so well with your content, it could be a course, okay? We need to be maximizing resources. So you're spinning your wheels trying to create brand new content from scratch when all you have to do is maximize what you already have, what people have shown you they're already interested in, they already like, they already want to know more about. So you're constantly starting from zero instead of building momentum. Maximization turns you from existing effort into exponential impact, okay? So that is the actual blog post. But you know, here on the morning show, we do what? Give you more. So let me go to these show notes where I have 10 strategies for you to be maximizing your resources. I actually have 11 because I have a bonus one that I want to end it with. But listen to these 10 on how to look at the resources you have and maximize the use of them. Optimize the value out of it. We want to squeeze and wring out all the value because we can't afford to leave any value on the table, all right? Number one, I want you to start repurposing your SOPs. Because see, some of y'all are creating SOPs, but you don't understand that you can use those. Just like if you had a training that you can turn into an SOP, guess what you can do with an SOP? Turn it into a training. So you can take your existing SOPs and turn them into onboarding videos. You can turn them into process walkthroughs. You can turn them into internal knowledge-based written articles to go along with videos, okay? But you can take that SOP and turn it into another learning experience for your internal team. It can also be what you use for external, what do you call them? External outsourcing people coming in, okay? I just onboarded somebody this week for Dr. Joffrey, and guess what was a part of his onboarding? All of these resources that we have so he can get to know the company, right? So I have him looking at our brand guide. I have him looking at our brand story. I have him looking at across our social media for both of the brands. I even have him looking at past emails and the email folder structure for the customer service for both brands. So some of this stuff you have in place is stuff other people need to know in an onboarding or training capacity. Let's put this stuff together. So I created an onboarding document for him that had all of that stuff in it, as well as like his technology access, as well as any training videos that I have done. Again, some of y'all haven't had time to do SOPs as far as writing them out. But if you just record yourself doing the thing that you're having to do anyway, that's at least a start. And then when you hire somebody, you can have them to write the SOP based off the video. Or guess what else? You can take the SOP that you wrote and have them to create a walkthrough video based on the SOP. So again, we need to start repurposing this stuff. Number two, turn one system into a multi-use workflow, okay? Some of us are using platforms for one reason, but if you really knew the features of a platform, you might use them for more than one reason. Let me give you an example. You might be managing multiple back-end areas for client delivery, internal team tasks, document storage, SOP access, but you can maximize your return on investment if you use more platform features instead of adding more tools, okay? So let me give you an example. Some of you might be saying, well, where do I put my, I'm doing these training videos for onboarding or these videos for, my external team members. Where do I put this stuff? Well, do you have a learning management system where you're selling courses or you're selling videos for trainings? Because that can be the same platform that you store your training library. Okay, so we just have to know what all the features are, and we use these features in these platforms for multiple purposes. So get to know your tech. Take time to actually get to know what are the features of your tech and start thinking, what else can I use this for in my business internally or even externally? Okay, great. Number 3, we talked about batching earlier this week. However, this is what I want you to think about, especially as business owners. I want you to batch your administrative processes into like a one-day system. Okay, because we don't have time to keep touching administrative stuff. We already don't want to do it, right? We don't want to collect data. We don't want to look at processes. We don't want to do some of y'all don't even want to invoice. You over there doing work and don't even want to do the invoicing for the work that you've done. Okay, so I want you to start touching administrative tasks instead of every day and leaking time every day on something that you don't want to do. Pick an admin day. Pick just one day. I like Fridays for myself. I like to get through the week and then look at stuff. So if you pick one day, you might like Monday, you might like Sunday, whatever you want to do. Pick an admin day where all of your back end stuff that you're responsible for doing, you can get done. And again, that could be updating stuff. That could be making calls. That could be the day that you also have the team meeting. Put all that stuff, batch it into one day. All right. Number 4. Use templates as part of your internal tasks, your operation assets. So you can include templates like scripts or whatever for client emails. That's one of the first things that I create when I come into a business. Is one of the things we say the same every time. Once I create a process, what are the words that are said as that at that step of the process? Because it probably needs to be worded that way every time. So we start to bank email templates so that the customer service people can come in and just come on up with that template and change it how you need to change it for that particular client or that particular customer. But most of the words are already there for that step in the process. Proposals. We had a whole week on proposals, but you know that you should be templatizing your proposals for the most part. Your follow-up messages, templates. You already don't want to do the following up, right? So you actually don't want to sit there and think about what you're going to say every time you got to follow up. Stop trying to say something different every time and create a template for that, all right? What we want to do is build a centralized library of these templates so things start to be plug and play. Okay, so some of that stuff that used to take brain power, some of that stuff that we did not look forward to, now it's just plug and play. Let's get it over with. Let's get it done. Okay. Number 5, systematize internal reviews. Systematize internal reviews. So you know you need to do the review as a part of monitoring, but we need to systematize it. Create recurring back-end checkpoints, okay? Where you revisit old stuff, past client files, delivery tools, workflows, training materials. But when you have a team, this checkpoint does not have to be you doing it. You can make that as an assignment as a person on your team to do the checkpoints, especially for things that touch their responsibilities, okay? Once we have a team, we don't have to start doing all of this stuff. We have them to do it and report it to us, okay? And do not allow them to report it in a way where you felt like you are going through the exact same platforms they got the analytics from. No, have them to summarize the analytics, or what's going to happen is you're not going to look at them because you could have just went in the back end and wrote that down. You could have went in the back end and looked at that exactly like that. Have them to summarize it. All analytics back there don't mean anything to you. So decide what are the key analytics or the KPIs, key performance indicators, so that is what is being reported to you, not every single thing that's available, okay? You can even create a little dashboard for them to kind of fill in and then report it to you. All right, number 6, automate high frequency internal tasks, okay? Now, I want you to start thinking about just single tasks. Okay, I definitely want you to automate single tasks. We talk about that all the time. If it's anything that you do over and over again, definitely be automated. But I want you to think bigger than that. I want you to start thinking about workflows, not just tasks. So what tasks touch each other and how can we connect them? That's a workflow. Okay, so there are tasks that we do over and over again, and there are tasks that we do over and over again that are connected to other tasks. That latter one that connected to other tasks is where we can create workflows. Because again, as you get to know the features of things like Zapier and built-in integrations and stuff like that, what you'll find is you can connect your tech up to where you started over here and it goes through multiple tech pieces by itself and ends up over here as a workflow where you don't have to touch that through the whole process. So start getting in the know of things that are integrated. Okay. In fact, when I go out there to hire tech or purchase tech, I look and see what integrates with what I have. Yeah, so that should be one of the cornerstones of what you're checking off of. Is this a great tech for me? Well, does it integrate with something that you already have? And see, that's another thing about going to AppSumo with the new technology that they have or whatever. They say, oh, this is the same as this, and this is the same as that. But does it integrate like the thing is supposed to be the same as? Right? Because see, if it's not integrating with your other tools, it costs you less money, but it's going to cost you more time because it don't connect with nothing you got. So that means if it doesn't connect by itself, that's a manual step you keep adding in there. So keep that in mind. Number 7, cross-train your team members. When you get a team, we need them cross-trained on multiple tools. I want you to start thinking about, okay, everybody has a job. Now, if this person is out or unavailable, who can take some of these tasks? So it don't have to be you every time. All right. So instead of hiring someone every time a need comes up, start cross-training existing team members to maximize their capacity. All right. One of the things I'm about to train a team member on is I train them on customer service on the back end for a client. I'm about to train them on how to do these marketing emails. Okay, because I don't want to do marketing emails. So let me train you on how to do these emails. We're going to help you get to understand ChatGPT, and then we're going to help you get to understand Klaviyo in the back end so you can go ahead and get this stuff done. Because you have capacity to do more work, let me give you a skill set that's going to actually help the company. Okay. Number 8, organize and tag digital assets for easy retrieval. Some of y'all's back end look like a junkyard. We coming to join you, Elizabeth. Y'all looking like Fred Sanford junkyard back there, and y'all need to get this stuff organized. This is why some of your team members are always reaching out to you and pinging you to find stuff because you don't have things organized. So maximize the use of your existing materials. That could be training docs, swipe files, templates, all this stuff, by making sure that they're searchable, making sure that they're named properly. I wish Dr. Tachi was on here. She taught me the word nomenclature. Okay. So make sure you naming this stuff where people can find it. Make sure you put them in folders that are natural for other people to find them, not just the way your brain works. So an indication that your stuff is not organized the way you think it is if people keep asking you what stuff is. Yeah. If your team keeps asking you where things are, it's not organized, even though you think it's organized. It's not. Because if it's not organized for somebody else to go find it, it's not organized. So keep that in mind. Number 9, establish a use before you buy rule to maximize on tech. Okay. So I want y'all to stop buying tech without taking advantage of these free trials. That's basically what that means. Actually, when you sign up for a free trial, make sure you have on your calendar production time for you to actually use it before the trial is up so that you know whether or not this is worth buying. Okay. So try it before you buy it. Make that a rule for your new stuff. Okay. It can even be a rule for new team members. You want to try it before you commit to it. So you can hire them to do small projects to test their skill set before you hire them for long-term projects or on a retainer basis. So try it before you, buy it or commit to it. Number 10, set utilization metrics for your back end tools. So this is where the KPIs come in, but you can have benchmarks on improvement. So not just that they're using it, not just that it's working the way that it's supposed to working, but is it getting us a progressive result within our business? Okay, so does it have a job? Okay, what does success look like in that job? This could be a person or a tech tool. Okay, and then how much progress in the business as a whole is being made? All right, so we're going to step beyond the return on investment on, okay, we bought it to do this. Is it doing that? And how much is it helping my business? See, sometimes we have to have that bird's eye view. Not that things are working and things are doing stuff and things have assignments, but also, is our business progressing as a whole? Okay. That was number 10. So this is the bonus one that I had in here, y'all. And this is, I need y'all not only to start making sure that you're collecting the data and that you're reviewing the data, I need you to go a step further. Maximizing means you're using data to make decisions. That's the last part, okay? And that's the biggest part about maximizing things that I want you to have in your mind as a CEO. And that is, don't just collect the data. You got to collect it, or your team collects it. You have to review it. And now we make decisions based upon it. So that is that last element. And this is how we have a business where we're making data-driven decisions. You're not making data-driven decisions just because you're collecting data. You're not making data-driven decisions just because you're looking at the data that's collected. You're only making data-driven decisions when you review that data and you say, okay, this means that we can ramp up this, or we need to sunset that. And we make that decision, and that's how we actually move the needle in our business. So the question for today is, which strategy to maximize your resources better on the back end to create a strong backbone for your business do you need to put in place, and what are the obstacles to you doing that? We're going to start with Dr. LaFera, but I'm going to go back through these 10 again without all the excess. Over here on the YouTube side, we got Chantilly. Good morning, Chantilly. And we got Kimberly had dropped off out of studio and she went over here to YouTube. Good morning again, Kimberly. All right, let me go back through the 10 and the bonus. These are strategies to help you to maximize the resources in your business, okay? Repurpose those existing SOPs into other formats of training assets. Number 2, turn one system into a multi-use workflow. Stop using stuff for one thing and use it for more than one thing, all right? Number 3, batch your administrative processes into a one-day administrative day. Number 4, use templates as operational assets. Stop thinking up things over and over again when there could be a template put in place. Number 5, systematize your internal reviews. That's go back and do these checkpoints where you're making sure that this stuff is worth it, that this stuff is being used, that this stuff is not being duplicated elsewhere, all right? Number 6, automate high-frequency internal tasks into workflows. So don't just automate tasks singularly, put them together to create workflows, integrate them. Number 7, cross-train your team members on multiple tools so that you maximize their capacity of working with you. Some of y'all are hiring people and you out here trying to find stuff for them to do. Start teaching them stuff, okay? Number 8, organize and tag digital assets for easy retrieval. Organize your back end so other people can work in your back end and so that you can work in your back end. Some of y'all saving stuff and don't know where to go back and find it. Organize your stuff. Number 9, establish a use before you buy rule, or this, try it before you buy it type rule. You can do this with tools. You can do this with people. Start doing that so you can maximize your commitment and your money. Number 10, set utilization metrics for the back end so that you understand how is it affecting your business as a whole and the progression of your business. And then the bonus was use data to make decisions. Don't just collect it. Don't just review it. Use it to make decisions. All right. So let's go to Dr. LaFera. Which strategy to maximize your resources better on the back end to create a strong backbone for your business do you need to put in place, and what obstacles do you have to doing so?
I like all of them, but I guess for me, on number 6, where it says automate high frequency tasks into workflows, you have an example of that?
Let's see. Yes. So you do know that some stuff can be put together. For example, we have forms that we use for different things. That form can be connected to something like a Airtable that's now pulling data from these forms and putting them in a way where we can see not just the information from one form, but collecting data from everybody filling out this form. Does that make sense? And that's just one example. My brain is farting right now, but
Yeah.
there are different ways that you can connect up stuff. Like you're an AI expert. You know that there is AI stuff that we can do that can connect stuff up to where Chat GPT can come up with the content, and then it can touch another tech that can edit it, another tech that can create the visual, and then another tech that can schedule it. And all we did, it was started the Chat GPT thinking, but it could go straight through without us touching it. So that's
Yeah,
another.
I'm working on something like that for my
Yeah.
mental.
Exactly. All right. Let's go to Keith. Keith, which strategy to maximize? Oh, Keith already dropped it in here. He said number one, which was what? Let me see. What was number one? Repurposing your SOPs to be other training assets. I love that. And then number 9, try it before you buy it. It will be a waste of money if you buy a tool that you already have in your toolbox. It sure will. It sure will. Or it'll be a waste of money if it don't work the way you thought it was going to work. Because see, sometimes we buy stuff that don't work the way we thought it was going to work. Therefore, it's not as valuable to us. Right. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't work or it doesn't work for other people. What it means is it don't work for us. And so if it doesn't work for us, it's not worth our time or our money. Okay. Because some of us, we have different levels of technology knowledge. And so if that thing taking too much and you're not going to use it, you should not be investing in it. There are some things that are very convoluted that you end up not using, even though other people may be using it with success. So that's a great one, Keith. Let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, which strategy to maximize your resources better on the back end to create a strong backbone for your business do you need to put in place, and what obstacles may you have in doing so?
Batch the administrative processes into a workflow.
Yeah.
Um, that right there, admin is something that I pay attention to. It's that and the cross train your people.
Mm-hmm.
Cross training for me in the corporate world shot me up the ladder faster than I could imagine, as well as giving my people, they felt more powerful, more in control of their positions. They also owned them better. You know how they like to toss the blame in corporate.
Yeah.
And that made, when I employed it in the bookstore, it made my bookstore number one in the company on any given day. And it was, their confidence level went up. So by me doing this, my point is by me doing number 3 is going to give me more confidence. I'll own it better. You see what I'm saying? Because systems work, and that's what I like to create, are systems. So thank you. All of these are great. This is my new checklist
Yeah.
for, okay, is the back end working? Is my systems, because everything is built on the systems, on the foundation of the back end, the paperwork, all of that good stuff. And I was talking to a client a couple of weeks ago and asked them for something that we had gone over. 15 minutes later, she's still looking for it. I said, you need to fix your filing system. You
Mm-hmm.
see, because, in publishing, I'm talking to an editor and they ask me for X, Y, and Z. That's the difference between a contract and, yeah, she got a good book for a client, but her back end, her resources, they're not working for her. So thank you for this.
You're welcome. And I'm gonna give y'all a cheat code to that cross training people. When I hire people, I ask them 2 questions that help me to understand where they may work best when I'm trying to cross train people. The first question I ask them is, what skill set do they have that I don't know about yet? And then the next question I ask is, what are the skill sets that they've been wanting to learn, right? When I ask those two questions and I make note of that, when it comes time to pick somebody to help with something that they need to be cross-trained on, I'm going to go and see who already may have such a skill set, right? And then I'm going to look at, if we don't have somebody that already has a skill set, who said they were interested in learning it, right? And so that's going to help me to pick the right person for the cross-training of whatever new skill set. So that's a cheat code for y'all. All right, let's go to Dr. Latoya. Dr. Latoya, which strategy to maximize your resources better on the back end to create a strong backbone for your business do you need to put in place, and what obstacles may you have in doing so? Oh, you put it in the chat. Okay, so she said, tag and organize digital assets. I need to schedule a few days to go through and watch my old videos and note how they can be used for the future use. Also creating a consistent naming, tagging system. Yes, because even in my, I'm going to tell you, me going back to redoing my blog. I'm about to share my screen. Which screen is it? Screen number 3. Let's share that one. Is that the right one? Yeah, yes, but let's get this pop-up out the way. All right. So when you go now to my blog, when you click it, I have it arranged in a different way these days. So I have it arranged where whichever one is the one we're talking about that week, that's going to pop up at the top. And it says this week's article, right? Then it gives me a chance to plug the morning show. But I have tagged these articles with different keywords. Some of them are going to be business management. Some of them are going to be about business growth. Now, some of them can be cross-referenced, okay? Because this is business growth, but it's mindset. It's not necessarily strategy. This one is marketing. This one is sales. Now, how this helps us is when y'all come in and y'all ask me a question, and I know we had a week on that. I know we have a blog on that. This helps me to find that blog faster. Because if I know that blog was on marketing, I can just click the marketing, and then what's going to come up are all the marketing blogs. Or I can click on strategy. What's going to come up are all strategy blogs. I can click on business management. All business management blogs are going to come up. I could click on sales, same thing. So making sure that you are naming these things and tagging these things is only going to help you, because see, some of y'all are out there suffering because you know you got a resource, you just don't know where to find it. Or you know you got more information on that, you just don't know where it is. So it behooves you to, like Dr. Toya, take a moment and start organizing this stuff, naming them in a way that you know you can pull it up and search for it very easily. So yeah, that is going to do nothing but help you. All right, let's check over here on this YouTube side. I'm trying to make sure I got everything in studio first. Okay, cool. Let's see if y'all are over here talking on YouTube side. Yes, you are. So Kimberly says she needs to do number 9, organize and organize and organize some more. I know that's right, Kimberly. Chantilly said, 1 day for administration and automated high-frequency tasks into workflows. I don't think I have any challenges stopping me from doing this. Awesome. Love it. Love it. All right. This is a great week. We're doing business management this week. And what I love about it is we have things in place. We just might not have them in place in a way that really works what's best for the business. And this is where my operations brain comes into play. And so this whole quarter, I'm going to really be talking about operations and business management stuff to get your back ends and your flows and all that stuff in good condition. This is the reason why I have kind of sequestered my quarters to be about certain things for 2025, so I can make sure I'm getting you things that you need that's more than just marketing, that's more than just sales, that's more than just visibility. Because you know that my genius lies in operations and the way I think about organizing and processing stuff. And so I want to give more of that operational genius to you guys, because when I looked at my own content, that's what I recognized was missing. We don't talk about operations enough for you to get your business in order so that it is a well-oiled machine. So This week, we talked about manifesting resources. We talked about managing resources. We talked about monitoring resources and maximizing resources. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Any value adds or any key takeaways that was like an aha moment? You can come off the mic if you have any of that.
This is Cheryl. The
Hey,
the takeaway, the aha moment for me was all of this, every single bit of this is organization. And if it's organized, then it makes life so easy because everything is at, at fingertips or at the touch of a button. And, just the one thing that came to me was just make sure I keep going through, as part of my checklist to make sure that all the buttons and all the papers are in the right place. Sometimes we'll use them and forget to put them back or whatever. Just for me, just doing that little check. So this is great because this is what I'm doing this year. And that without the automation, it makes it very, very difficult. And I didn't understand how difficult until I started working with Go High Level.
Yes, most
So thank
definitely.
you.
And it allows you to pull that much more value out of your resources when you know where they are, so that you can use them when you need them, when you can use them when it's just spur of the moment. Some of the extra resources that I share with you guys when I'm sharing my screen and showing you this and showing you that, I have to be able to find it to share it with you, right? So sometimes when I'm looking for something to share with y'all right quick and I can't find it, I make a mental note, baby, where is that? And put that where you think it should go now. Because sometimes where we think it should go at the beginning of a journey and how we think it should, where we think it should be toward the middle of a journey or the end of a journey could be different because our understanding is different or the value we place on it is different. And so again, as we're doing these reviews, as we're doing these administrative days, we need to look at things like that. And as we're getting team members in, as we're hiring outside vendors and service providers, how long is it taking you to find the resources they need to work on your business? Because that's an indication that you need to reorganize stuff. So you could have been organized at one point and now you need to be reorganized. So keep those things in mind. All right, anybody else have a question, a value add, or an aha moment about this week? Where we're talking about the 4 M's of operations is what I call it: manifesting, managing, monitoring, and maximizing your resources. Cool beans. Well, tonight is fuck up night, virtual happy hour, usually for the paid membership only, but we're inviting our free business mastermind group to come in on the last part of it. Your job is to bring what is fucking up in your business so that we can fix it over drinks. All right. Now, tomorrow is a Get Shit Done work session. Again, that is something that is primarily for our paid membership. However, 2 Fridays out of the month, we allow the free business mastermind group to come in on the last half. On Sunday, this is paid members only, and it is we're going to end our 14-day April goals momentum sprint, and we're going to create our May goals, okay? What I have found is when we are goal-oriented and we do these sprints, everybody that participates feel the needle on that business moving forward, and they feel the progression because it's very goals oriented. We're not out here doing these just doing disjointed tasks, right? We are focusing on goals that will move our business forward, and we are achieving the goals. Okay, so you too need to be a paid member if you want to see real progression in your business. Go to shaycannon.com/membership. All right. Great. If you want to know more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, or this highly valuable free business mastermind group that we talk about all the time, I want you to check out the description below for the link and more information. Also, you got great information this week, and today was no exception. So give us a thumbs up and like our episode. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss anything. And this was a 4-part series, so check out the other videos, all right? And with that, I want you guys to have a great day, have a great weekend, because the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3,